Do you want your brand to stand out from the rest, command attention, and have instant credibility? In this video, I'm going to share with you exactly the kind of content that does this. It's easy to implement, and the moment that you do, you're going to notice that your audience responds to your business and your brand differently, and it'll lead to a lot more sales. Right now, the kind of content that you're used to creating is informational content. This is where you're taking your expertise and you're coming online and teaching people what you know. It's like you're taking your brain out, putting it online, and you're sounding like a textbook. This is why you feel like you're disconnected from your audience, almost like they're not picking up what you're putting down because you look and sound really smart, but it's not translating into your audience knowing that you can help them. And so you're talking over their heads. You're talking from the point of view that they don't yet understand. And you're really only reaching their logical mind. And people buy because they feel like it, they buy because of emotion. And so when you're showing up with your informational content, it's why you notice this trickle in of sales. You're getting sales and you're getting leads, but they're coming pretty slow because you're only speaking to one element of the person. That means that the person that you're speaking to has to only be in their logical mind. They have to be reading it from their logical point of view or watching you on video from their logical point of view the moment that they are coming across your content online. And so that is a small subset of the population. People are scrolling social media, they're scrolling YouTube, and they're in their feels. Something is on their heart. And so when you're only tapping into one component of who they are, you're missing out on more leads and more sales into your business. And this is why you feel like your brand just isn't quite leveling up. So you're not building connection and you're not building trust. So, what is the flip that you need to make in your content in order to build trust and connection and just level up your brand to command the authority that you really do have? You want to switch to transformational content. This is the kind of content that helps your audience know that they can become the kind of person that can achieve the outcome. Your audience desires an outcome, but the number one reason why they don't have their outcome is because they don't believe. It's not because they don't know what to do. Think about this for yourself. It's not that you don't know what to do, but there's a subset of belief within you that whatever you're reaching for might feel a little bit far away. And the only way that you close the gap on the outcome that feels far away isn't by telling people more of what your expertise is about. It's about filling in the gap with them believing that they can become the kind of person who achieves the outcome. Everything boils down to identity. It all boils down to who we are. There's an image that you, your audience, myself, we have of ourselves online. Or I should say, we have of ourselves. So when we are scrolling social media and there's a person that is creating this aspirational identity for us, it's like, oh, I know I can be that person. I'm not quite there yet, but I know I can. That person is holding a mirror up to you in their content about who they know you can be. That's what you want to do with your audience. You want to hold a mirror up. You want to hold the image up of who they are striving to be. Because when you fill that gap in their belief, now they want to make a buying decision with you because you've made them believe that they can. Transformational content speaks to someone's identity because what we're transforming isn't getting the outcome. In order to get the outcome, we need to have the identity because we need to be able to take the action, whatever business you're in, whether you're weight loss, relationship, you're in the business scene, whatever it might be, there is a identity that your person needs to adopt. There is an identity that your person needs to step into, which is their God-given identity in knowing that they've already won. But it's the fears and the doubts that tend to penetrate their mind, making them think that they can't. And so when you come along and you start transforming how they see themselves, they can't help but to buy. They can't help but to feel compelled to spend money with you. One of my mentors, Myron Golden, says, when people pay you with their attention, they're going to pay you with their assets. But right now, there's too many people fighting to get attention by getting louder online and just trying to do all these silly things that just to get people to pay attention. But you can get people to maybe look at you for a second, but not necessarily pay attention to the message you have to share. And so that's why creating transformational content is so important, because you can stop the scroll. You can, have a great hook, a great headline, a great thumbnail. If you're on, Instagram, you can have a, 3-second movement in the beginning of your reel that gets people to pay attention, but you can't keep that attention because the message behind what you're saying isn't there. So transformational content builds on just who that person is. It talks about their becoming. And I've got 7 steps to help you do this. It's 7 steps to transformational content. So number 1 is to diagnose the real problem. Your audience believes that their problem is X, but you know that their problem is Y. And so right now they are searching online on how to solve problem X, but you know that their problem is Y. So you actually have to now enter in a new thought process in their mind, and you have to diagnose what their actual problem is. Because in order for them to become the person that achieves the outcome, they have to see a new perspective. They can't look at the perspective that they've been looking at because they're solving for the wrong problem. So this is why when you are teaching in your content and you're trying to tell them something, they're not paying attention because what they can see is what they can see solving for X and you're solving for Y. Let me give you an example. As a physical therapist, one of the ways that we can really get rid of neck pain is actually working on our mid-back, our thoracic spine. So let's say that there's somebody searching online on how to get rid of neck pain. But I'm only talking about how to move your thoracic spine, how to stretch the middle of your back. They're not paying attention because what they're looking for is X. They're looking for neck. They're looking for cervical spine. They're not paying attention to mid-back and thoracic spine. So when I am now creating a piece of content, I'm going to now meet them with a level of relevancy, meaning what is top of mind for them right now. They are looking for cervical spine information. So I'm going to capture them talking about cervical spine, and I'm going to lead them into understanding that it is their thoracic spine where the answer is. So I'm diagnosing their real issue. I'm saying it's because your mid back is so locked up. It's because you sit all day. It's because you do this, this, this. This is where the problem really is. So your content isn't about, I'm not teaching them about their thoracic spine. I'm showing them why what they think their problem is isn't their problem. So this is what I mean when I say diagnose the real problem. Number 2, you want to disrupt their old thinking. So this goes hand in hand in diagnosing that actual problem. When I disrupt someone's thinking, I'm going to stay with the same example. When I disrupt someone's thinking about neck pain, I'm going to lead with neck pain. And then I'm going to give an explanation so that they understand a relationship or a connection between neck pain and thoracic pain, or neck pain and why their mid-back is so tight, because maybe they don't have thoracic pain, but you get what I'm saying. Their neck pain and why their mid-back is related. I'm going to draw a connection. I'm going to give a parallel. I might use an analogy. I might use some kind of a story of a past client to be able to share with them why and how this is connected. I'm going to also speak to their day-to-day problem so that they can see, oh, actually, I do sit like this. I do move like that. I want them to see in their mind. When people can see in their mind, they're going to believe that you can help them because you've created a picture for them to gravitate toward. Okay, so number 3 is to deliver a new possibility. This is all about getting your audience to see something differently. You are allowing them to see a new way of achieving their solution, a new way of achieving their solution. So if it is their mid-back that's causing their neck pain, I'm showing them a new way, a new process of being able to achieve the outcome, the result, the solution that they desire. Because remember, your audience is looking for something over here, and you're like, nah, it's over here. Here's what you really need to pay attention to. But you've got to be able to deliver a new mechanism. This is why I talk so much about frameworks. I've got other videos on a framework, but this is how you deliver a new possibility to your audience, is all about how they are able to now see something that they couldn't see before. Number 4 is to design a bridge. Designing a bridge is all about the framework. So your audience is here and they need to get here in order to get their outcome. A framework is a step-by-step process that helps them get to the other side of the bridge. It's a step-by-step process on how you're going to take them through to get results. When you're creating informational content, you're either teaching about your expertise or you're creating this promotional type of content where you're always talking about your offer. And everyone's like, okay, I know what you offer, but I still don't know how you can help me. When you design a bridge, what you're inviting people into is your way of achieving the solution, your way of achieving the result in how you help them get what it is they desire to get. People are not paying you just to teach them the information. They're paying you to get the result. They're paying you so that they can become the person that has the thing. They're paying you for the transformation. So if you don't have a framework, then you don't have a bridge in order to do that. And I've got an entire series, I'll post it down below for you to check out, on how to create your own framework. So that way you have a process, a step-by-step process on how you're going to help your audience. Okay, number 5 is distill the message to their awareness. I said in the beginning that most of the time when people are talking, it's going over someone's head. They have no idea what you're talking about. You are underneath the iceberg and you know what's going on. Your audience is still at the top and can only see the tip of the iceberg. So you're talking to them with everything that's underneath the iceberg. They can't see that. They're not even going there because that's not what they're looking for. They're still looking for potentially a superficial solution. They don't quite recognize that it's a little bit deeper than what they've been looking for. They're also looking for a solution to the wrong problem, right? And so you want to be able to speak to their awareness. Where are they? I always say you want to know exactly where your ideal client is, how they will be able to get the best results from you. Because you might be able to help a lot of people, but it doesn't mean that you're meant to serve all of those people. They might not be fit for your certain kinds of offers that you are selling. Maybe certain kinds of people are best for your book or some kind of a passive course that they do on their own. But when you start selling high ticket coaching and programs, now you are working with them either one-on-one or in a group, and it's transformational. It's not just, here's this course, here's this program. You're with them one-on-one. And so you have to know what they need to be aware of in order to truly get the results. And if you're speaking outside of their awareness, then they're not going to get it. And also, if you are speaking in a way that isn't for your ideal audience, you'll attract the wrong kinds of people into your offers, okay? I also have a training for you down below. It is the 7 biggest content marketing mistakes. Talking to the wrong level of awareness is one of those mistakes, and it's one of the most costly mistakes because people are only aware of what they're aware of. There are people that are trying to lose weight that think it's all about cardio. Then there's people that know you want to be able to build muscle mass. So if I wanted to talk to the level of awareness of person who is actually looking for weight loss, that understands they have to build muscle, I'm going to speak completely different than I am to somebody who is only looking for cardio. So one of those 7 biggest mistakes is the awareness. There are 6 others. It is a completely free training. I'll post that link down below for you to grab it. It is so good. It is going to show you how you look at one piece of content so you can make sure you're not making any of these mistakes. All right, number 6 is drawing out their new identity. You want to be so descriptive on who they're going to be. Who are they going to be when they achieve the outcome? Because people want the outcome of making more money in their business. But the truth is, deep down inside, that person wants to feel confident. That person wants to feel like people are paying attention to them, like they have a visibility and an influence online, not from a self-serving way, but they desire to have true impact. So it's not just about the money that they're looking to create. They desire to be a person who God is using in order to serve people. And so they want to feel like their gifts are being utilized. They want to have confidence. They want to have a level of self-trust to be able to follow through. They don't want to have doubts. They don't want to have fears. They want to have the courage to do what they need to do to get it done. So your person desires to feel like that. So it's not just about the outcome. So you want to talk about their identity. Who is it? How are they going to be able to operate? How are they going to be able to move in the world, not just in business or not just in relationships or not just in weight loss, whatever niche you're in? How is it also going to affect their day-to-day life? How is it they're going to affect in their relationships? I know for me, a lot of the times when I'm working with my clients and we're talking about where their business is going, I'm also feeding into them how they are being viewed by their spouse and making sure that they're maintaining good relationships with their spouse as well. And so maybe whatever sector of business you are in, you can also relate it to maybe a relationship that they might be in with their spouse. Because in every business, we can feel pressure. We can feel like maybe we're not doing a good job. Maybe it feels like you're an imposter. You can feel all kinds of things. And so I'm going to speak to that level of identity. And then I'm also going to show you how that will translate in your relationship. So I do this in my content. I do this when I'm working with my clients one-on-one. And so this is something that you can do as well. So the identity isn't just in their relationship, in their business, or in their health. Their identity is wrapped up as this is just how they're showing up because this is just who they are now. All right. And then number 7 is direct their next decision. Where do you want them to go? Do you want them to comment below? Do you want them to opt into something? Do you want your audience to just start a discussion in the chat? Not everything needs to have a call to action, a CTA. Not everything needs to be buy my thing. Not everything needs to be like pointed to an offer. I want you all to realize that when the content is so compelling, people are naturally just looking for more of what you have. You don't have to tell them to go buy. You don't have to tell them to go do anything. They naturally want to go do it because they feel so compelled by you already. It's honestly like just having a friendship, right? Or having a relationship. The person feels compelled to want to hang out with you. They feel compelled to have a good time. You never actually have to say like pulling teeth to hang out with a person. It's not like that. You don't have to pull teeth with your audience. The moment that your content is compelling and it's hitting these 7 elements, you're going to realize that they're just going to start coming to you. Now, you can do this in long form video, right? So I've done this in this particular video. You can also do this in a short. You can do this in a reel. And you'll just have 1 or 2 sentences that you are going through these 7 points. Now, you don't need to have all 7 all of the time, depending on the kind and style of content that you're making. But most compelling content actually will have all of these 7, even if it's just 1 sentence, to be able to round out the edges of the content that you are providing. So understand that it doesn't need to be a long form video in order for you to hit these elements. When you're really good at the storytelling, when you're really good at understanding your audience, 1 sentence, sometimes even a couple of words or a phrase is enough to be able to get the point across. So work on having these 7 elements added into your content every single time. You are going to see a new response from your audience. You're going to have a level of command, a level of credibility that you've never tapped into before, because what you're going to be doing is helping your audience believe that they can become the person. So you are so close right now to having more sales come into your business. Just make these few tweaks. It's simple to implement. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't go, oh, I don't know. Sit down and answer these questions based on the content that you create. And once you write them all out, now when you go create a piece of content, you have a reference point of some bullet points for all of these 7 elements of transformational content. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to watch this video next, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.